Good afternoon. This is Rich Nass, Executive Vice President of Open Systems Media, and I am here for our weekly installment with Ray Zinn, who, as you know by now, is the former founder and CEO of Micrel and the author of a great book called Tough Things First. Good afternoon, Ray.
Hi, Rich. How are you doing today?
I am doing just fine, thank you. And yourself?
Well, we're doing fine. The weather's nice, and I'm just enjoying the outdoors a little bit here.
Good. I'm very glad to hear that. Here in New Jersey, it's not so nice, but we won't go down that path. Okay, so let's talk this week about, I use the word fads, but that's not the right word. It's a product category that seems to be just taking things off the chart. And what I'm referring to now is the Internet of Things. We could talk about whether it's new or it's not new. It's been around for a long time, whatever. But it's certainly in vogue today. It's something people are talking about. People are developing products for it, both at the system level and at the component level. And I'd like to draw on your history and experience a little bit. There were other fads, and I'm doing the air quotes for fads, of products over the time you were at Micrel. There were things like smartphones that just went off the charts. There was lighting that was a very popular category for a while. There was automotive technology. Were you able to capitalize on those different areas of technology as they come out? Did you learn to ride the wave, so to speak?
Well, you almost have to. I mean, that's an interesting point. You hate to think that you're riding a fad, but certainly back in the early 90s when cell phones were becoming a thing of, with Qualcomm coming out with the CDMA technology, certainly we jumped on that because, we were pretty good at doing low dropout regulators, and that perfectly fit into that mobile business. So we jumped on that wave and rode that all the way into the shore. And so, sure, every time there's a, kind of a fad, as you would, or a thing that's taken off, you want to be on that train. You don't want to ride the train that's going nowhere, so you tend to jump on these fads, as you call them.
But I'm guessing that there's somewhat of a risk involved, because if you're not in early, then you'll miss the train. So you have to say, yeah, this one's for real. And in that light, were there things that you took a risk on and you guessed wrong?
Well, we always do. We don't have perfect knowledge or perfect understanding of the future. As they say, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is the present. That's why they call it a gift. So you tend to focus on what you can do today and let the future take care of itself. But as you pointed out, if you're not in early, then you miss it. The window closes and you missed out. So, we had this big fad back in the late 90s, with the internet taking off and communications was the wave, and that lasted maybe 3 or 4 years, and then it collapsed in 2001 when the .com bubble burst, and certainly those that rode that wave, and didn't succeed very well because they had all their eggs in that basket. They didn't do very well, and those companies to this very day are suffering. Look what happened in Nortel, and some of those other companies that were totally committed to the comm space. So with Micrel now, what we did is we balanced it. We never were so concentrated in one area that if that bubble burst, that we were hosed. Now, we lost nearly half our revenue in 2001 when the .com bubble burst, but because we had other products that were highly profitable, that sustained us until we could rebuild our product line.
Interesting. So how? Is it just a gut feel, or do you go back and you do a lot of research, and how do you make that decision whether we're going all in on a technology or not?
Well, it's interesting you bring up gut feel. It's referred to as intuition, and all intuition is the proper application, the wide application of knowledge. And so the wiser you are, the more wisdom you have in discerning the knowledge that's given to you, the more intuition or the better your gut is. So I would say that anyone that is wise and has wisdom in using the data and the knowledge that he has will do a lot better in determining, where to move and where not to move, as opposed to someone who relies totally on knowledge and is not necessarily wise in the way that they use that knowledge. So, as again, Micrel, we were broadly diversified. We had wide product lines, and I was criticized for that at times because if one area is growing at 30 or 40% and your other area is growing at 5%, why do you put effort into areas growing at 5%? And my answer to them was, well, because we need to be broad-based. I mean, if you want to put all your eggs in one basket, then of course if you drop that basket, you've lost all those eggs. So I just said there's a combination of being too aggressive and too optimistic, and there's also being too pessimistic. For example, Montgomery Ward's. You probably don't even remember those guys, but Montgomery Ward's was very successful prior to World War II, and had that big brick and mortar business, and they just didn't. When suburbia took over and people started moving outside the city, Montgomery Ward, you had to travel a long ways to visit the store. Well, Sears, they moved out into the suburban areas, and so they could service those clients, those customers. So again, you have to be able to move with the change. Montgomery Ward didn't move, and they're out of business. Maybe it's going to happen to Sears now. I don't know. But anyway, you have to be able to read the tea leaves, as they say, and know where to move your R&D dollars so that you get the maximum return for the money you're spending.
Well, that is great advice, and I think we're out of time, Ray. But I would like to follow up on this next week. That was Ray Zinn, as you know, the former founder and CEO of Micrel, and I am Rich Nass with Open Systems Media. Have a great day, Ray.
Thanks a lot, Rich. Appreciate that.